that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
And terrifying.
It's horrifying.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. It's hypocrisy everywhere. I'm gonna present to you. Look at this video.
Taylor Lorenz is at it again. I mean, I can barely believe how exactly this has all played out in the last several hours. So let's start from the top, which is that there is an account called Libs of TikTok. You guys have probably heard about it. Joe Rogan has talked about it. It's a very popular one. I think it has around 600,000 followers by the time I checked this morning. Now, yeah, 650. There we go. So this account surfaces videos making fun of liberals on TikTok.
Officially, no. She is just uploading videos about them saying what they can do at school, what they want to advocate, and there's nothing you can do about it. So these are people that are saying the most unique stuff on the internet as if they're a fun group without realizing the whole world is watching them as entertainment, like, oh my god, we don't have to be like that. And the fact that we think that we are harassing them when they are saying stuff like, I'm going to teach your kids about gayness without your approval. Okay.
Often it can be trans stuff, identity stuff, LGBT, whatever. You know, I identify as a dog, or I identify
as a lot of
it's culture war.
It's
critical race
for
theory.
The culture war mills. That's
right.
What this account is.
That's right.
Sometimes it's funny, and sometimes I find it offensive, and that's what it is.
Yeah, I mostly find it funny. So this person has been doing this now for about a year, maybe a year and a half or so. It's become a very popular following, and it's definitely become, frankly, in my opinion, one of the most important kind of conservative activists in the entire country, if you care a lot about the culture war. And I'm saying that as an objective statement in terms of the level of influence that it has had.
Yeah.
Now, that account has been run anonymously. The author has, or the owner of the account has done some interviews, but has gone to great lengths in order to protect her anonymity. She's done interviews on Fox News. She's done interviews on podcasts as well, but has said that she doesn't want to reveal her face simply because of how much of a target that she is for many of the online harassment crowd.
Yeah, remember Dimple? Dimple, I believe, got swatted up about like 8 times. They still don't really know who it is. You can't even have a honest discussion, and people really want to stop it, because when you have a honest discussion in front of everybody, when there's supposed to be an enemy that you're talking to, and they realize, hey, that person isn't, wait, what? The news said the kind of gangster. Yeah, he's kind of legit. I don't agree with his view, but I can understand where you're coming from. You're not allowed to understand the people that you don't like. You're supposed to hate them without confirming. They fact check it for you.
Well, we found out late last night that journalist Taylor Lorenz, who we've talked about here, who has decried online harassment, who broke down crying on NBC News because she says that people are coming after her and her personal identity. I don't want to minimize that. I actually think that that's awful, and I don't think anybody...
Yeah, but how can you use that same information? Because she says, well, I kind of did some good searches, and it seems that Libs of TikTok didn't actually remove all the details, and I found it. And because she did such a good job to hide it, but this was public information, I just took it and threw it away. By that standard, anybody that does a mistake, that doesn't even understand the internet, just like your grandma, they can just hunt her down. You understand where I'm going at? People are like, these libs and progressive people find the loopholes. That's why you have to be so gangster against them sometimes, because they really do not care about you. They don't care about progressive. They care about how they progress in front of you, and you see them as Jesus.
Should have to experience that. Well, it turns out that she doxed this woman and revealed her name. Now, I'm not going to read her name here on the air, but let's go ahead and put this up there on the screen. Now, she says, meet the woman behind Libs of TikTok, secretly fueling the right wing's outrage machine. In it, she points to the anonymous impacts deep and far-reaching movement. Its content is amplified by high-profile media figures. She's appeared on Tucker Carlson. It's been referenced on Fox News. And then immediately begins to quote all of these fake identity experts about how the account is bringing violence against trans people or violence against people for simply highlighting videos that these people post themselves publicly, and then saying that this is in some way inciting harassment. And Crystal, what I found most objectionable, number one, she tries, of course, in order to tie this to Joe Rogan. She's like, oh, Joe Rogan, cited it once as further evidence that he's some crazy.
Because Joe Rogan just realized you gotta be kidding me. You are talking in a narcissistic way. How are you going to treat my kid? My kid. You can even make own. Then you cut your breast and you can look at me. Validate me. We find that weird. If you put it publicly, we're going to talk about it. There's enough LGBTQ places you can go talk about it. But no, you don't want to even go outside because you're afraid. Because the school taught you that everybody wants to snip you. Yeah, I don't know. It's like so U-turn. I'm like, I don't know where you guys are going with this.
Wing activists. Even though if you go talk to Joe, ask him how he feels about trans people. He'll tell you in his own words. But the second thing is they literally link to her real estate license and they reveal her name. They say exactly the, not just area of New York, but the specific neighborhood of New York that she lives in, citing, who this person is. And that level of identification is just ludicrous, especially in the context of this entire article, which is meant to paint her as some sort of hate mongerer. Now, I personally think there is a story to be told about the Lives of TikTok account. I've spoken about it offline privately with my friends. Like I said, I think it's crazy that this account came out of nowhere and legitimately became probably the most important right-wing account in the entire country.
If your parents don't love and accept you for who you are this Christmas, now, I'm your parents now. I'm proud of you. Drink some water. I love you. Bye.
Correct, because either she's collecting them or people are sending her stuff. But the fact that she does such a good job that she can find this information and she just posts them like, look at this one. This one is weird. She thinks she's the boss. She isn't like degrading these people. She's just pointing it out, something that many parents did not know. Because when parents were complaining, the parents were racist. You don't allow me to educate the kids the way they have to learn about the LGBTQ. I'm like, wait a second. You think they care of this kid? I'm supposed to log them and by obligated by law 8 hours maybe in a school and you can decide what you're going to teach. Well, we're going to go to private school.
And I don't mean that, like I said, I mean, I think it's probably single-handedly responsible for the Florida legislation on not being able to talk about sexual identity to kids who are K through 3.
True.
I think it's probably responsible for, along with Christopher Rufo, for a lot of the critical race theory legislation that has gone across the country.
Yeah.
And objectively, like when you look at it, that story is interesting. And I think it should be told, actually. But instead, this is just a bad faith critique, and it's clearly meant to dox her and to ruin this woman's life. And it's just, how can Taylor square that with what she has done and said about her, what has happened to her?
That's the part.
Yeah.
I think that this comes back to they're basically jealous that, and I relate to this, that the right wing is so good at the culture war that they're able to conjure out of thin air this language about, critical race theory and like insert it into mainstream conversation, make it a campaign issue, just like that out of nothing.
Sure.
Right. And the left and liberals in particular are just not good at doing that. And so I think there's a frustration with how successful all of this has been. And again, I share that frustration.
I think the point has come across. It's enough. I mean,
Tucker said her full name 3 times, I believe, on the air. What is he supposed to do? Call her Taylor from the New York Times? Whenever you talk about somebody, you talk about their full name. This is the truth. They want zero accountability. And just to go over who Taylor Lorenz is, this is the person who falsely accused Mark Andreessen of using the R word on Clubhouse and then didn't apologize for 48 hours only after social media basically came after her and she locked her account. This is a person who went after Mr. Beast. Yes, Mr. Beast of YouTube
Beast?
for
Really?
saying a bad word when he was 19 years old, or the Instagram girl with no job account because her mom was a prominent anti-Muslim activist. Not her mom. And so, you know what? I have zero sympathy, which is that this is a person who's built her entire career out of hall monitor journalism. She's the one who wrote Unfettered Conversations, by the way, who has made it a career in order to try and destroy people who are beneath her and use her platform and just can't take it whenever people rightfully criticize
I don't like
her
these
journalism.
people.
And just the sheer narcissism to compare like online harassment to actual like treatment
Yeah.
of the press. This is something friend of the show Glenn Greenwald pointed out. Let's put this up on the screen. Criticizing public figures, including influential journalists, is not harassment as abuse. This is coming from a man who has armed security guards and who the Brazilian government literally wants to throw in jail. Whenever she has experienced anything even close to that, then we can talk about journalist harassment. This is not even within the realm of all of this. And it just shows you the narcissism of the people who are at the very top of our elite.
Look at how this person was crying on the interview about how people are going after her. These are the people that are freaking fake. But they got the tear job at the perfection.
Of attacks have changed their lives and their work.
There's reporting that I know that I would like to do or that other journalists would like to do that we're not able to do because it's not safe enough for us to do them.
And they're not alone.
This is after I did a report on an increase in the number of white supremacists running for office. Condescending journalists, C-word, deserves a rope. Obviously, I'm a person of color. Obviously, there's a reference to a noose. Are you getting messages like these?
Yep. Hey, nice job on that story, you soulless effing Then also you'll see there's many people that are tweeting, these are Taylor Lorenz's loved ones.
They
of
have
everyone.
photos. Wow, these are all photos of your family members.
Yeah.
Children.
They'll threaten children. They'll threaten my parents. I've had to remove every single social tie. I had severe PTSD from this. I contemplated suicide. It got really bad. You feel like any little piece of information that gets out on you will be used by the worst people on the internet to destroy your life. And it's so isolating.
And terrifying.
It's horrifying.
It's horrifying!
I'm so sorry. It's overwhelming. It's really hard.
So all jokes aside, look, is it horrible? Yes. The fact that you realize how horrible it is, I understand that. What I don't understand is that you replicate that action. That people go at a specific address that they found about you, you don't even confirm, and you send them, you release them. She didn't harass you. She pointed out videos people are putting on TikTok, a public platform. They should delete the video then. That is their own fault. You just saw the opportunity. I can do a great job again. Putting somebody under the bus. Just because she has such a valuable platform, she's a public figure now. So I can do anything. I can find a pin. Guess what? They didn't go visit her. Seems that she wasn't even at the address. It was a family member or an auntie or something like that. Imagine if somebody sent a SWAT there. Of course, if somebody has pictures of your loved ones, that's bad. I can understand that. But I don't pity you if you did the same thing and if somebody passed away, she would have to be sent to prison. I don't agree with this. But I don't want to make the video too long, you know me. Short, pam, pam, pam. Let me know what you guys think. Like, share, bada bing, bam, boom, comment. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Don't get me wrong, makosa kita bong.